Okay, so here we are in plush office of Mr. Dan Goossen at Sherman Oaks, California. Dan, Dan, I read your statement about judges and referees in a fight with Abraham and Lopez. But what did you have to do to get Sarland to bring his fighter here?
Exactly what we agreed to 2 months ago. I, you know, there's always a reason for someone to throw out false information. Okay, and it's something that only he can tell you for sure what it is. Others can speculate, but um, there's nothing worse than knowing you've got an agreement and then seeing not one but two press releases go out from Sauerland that says completely false comments, namely that California was insisting upon placing a California referee inside the ring on May 14th with Ward and Abraham. This was completely, unequivocally, 300% wrong. California never insisted on that. They agreed to a neutral official inside the ring. They agreed to another neutral territory official judge outside the ring, along with one California judge and one German judge. So whatever reasons Wilford went through this charade, I can only believe it was hopes in the benefit of making Abraham think that something extraordinarily out of the ordinary was being done for him by his promoter, Wilfred Sauerland. And I'm led to that conclusion based upon the second press release that he sent out that went further to say, well, we won the first round. Okay, I mean, what? Okay, so I'm sure it's the mental aspect he's trying to build up Abraham and his his challenge against Andre Ward. That would be my best guess on it. But it's to the detriment of California Commission. It's to the detriment of our sport. Just go out there. Let us do our business together as Sauerland event and Goossen to the promotion. Let the fighters fight.
So who is going to be the referee?
The referee is going to be from Puerto Rico, Luis Pabon. He's got a great reputation. Got no problem with the referee. I do know that he knows how to count to 10, which is a good thing.
Let's get to the fight now. Andre Ward is about 7-1 favorite. Is there any concern about being overconfident for this fight?
No, it's funny. Andre Ward is he's got the makeup of what we see the other great superstars possess, and I say other great superstars not only in our sport but in other sports. You take a Kobe Bryant, for instance, always practicing, always trying to come as close to perfection as he can, under severe obstacles, trying to overcome those. We see with Manny Pacquiao, quite frankly. Here's a man that's got a country behind him. He's a political politician in active duty in the Philippines, but yet he balances those burdens, and I say burdens for an athlete, not just necessarily for a politician, because that alone is a burden, but to throw in being a politician, to have the country's hopes lay on every move you make, being a movie actor, being a singer, being idolized, okay, and being a world champion. Those are all tremendous weights on Manny Pacquiao's shoulders, but he's got the ability to handle it all. which I give him a lot of credit for. So, you know, getting back to what you were asking about Andre, I feel very similar with Andre. You know, he had, you know, dating back to his amateur days with winning the gold. In 204, he had the weight of America on his shoulders at that tournament. And then you throw in the fact that it had been 8 years since our last Olympic gold medalist, which was David Reed in 1996, and prior to that, the last one was Oscar De La Hoya. There was a lot of weight there. And I believe I'm right that he was also the last American left in the tournament, and all the hopes really rode on his shoulders. But he's carried that burden, which he obviously achieved success on, brought it out here back to America, brought the gold medal home, now representing his home city of Oakland, and certainly expanding his reach worldwide again through his pursuit of not only reaching the one goal of becoming a world champion, but the next goal of winning this Super 6 tournament, and then the greatness that he longs for and is willing to work for. So to answer your question, is he's got the makeup of a Pacquiao. He's got the makeup of a Kobe Bryant. He's got the makeup of a Sugar Ray Leonard. You know, all of these past greats. You know, or at least, you know, Sugar was a past great. Kobe and Manny are still out there, but he's got the ability to understand that none of this remains a possibility, and none of this has he obtained without putting the dedication and the hard work preparing for these certain events. Again, I'll parallel it to what we see of Pacquiao. He understands that the gym is where he's going to be able to deliver his promises to his people, and be able to juggle all the different weights that he has on his shoulders. It all comes together in that gym. And Andre's got that same mindset. He's got that same work ethic. So I do not see him thinking because he's a 7-to-1 favorite that he's going to do any less. Quite frankly, he will do more to make sure he overcomes any possible thought of taking Arthur Abraham for granted.
Other promoters from this tournament balk at you, saying that you're protecting your fighter, and he hasn't fought outside of California throughout this tournament. If things go to plan and Ward wins and Carl Froch wins, would you go to England to fight for the final?
Well, first off, you've got to understand there were a few reasons why this tournament was attractive. One was to get Kessler in Oakland, California. Okay? You know, normally you don't get the world champion to come into your home country, much less your home state. But as it relates to the rest of the tournament, that statement couldn't be any further from the truth. What you mentioned, that people believe that I've been protecting him. First off, I don't need to protect Andre Ward. He does a great job of that himself, okay? But the next opponent in this tournament for Andre was supposed to be Jermaine Taylor. That fight was not going to happen in Oakland or in California, okay? The one after that was supposed to be Durrell. That was not going to happen in Oakland or in California. So the only reason that the appearance is there that Andre's had all of his fights in Oakland or in California is because the replacements knew that that's where the money was. So when Alan Green challenged, replaced Jermaine Taylor and fought Andre Ward, he received a nice six-figure sum to be in Oakland because it was the most logical place to be because that's where money could be generated. Same with Bika. So those weren't things that we did for protection. It was purely a monetary situation because you know, having Alan Green or Sekio Bika as your challenge for your title wasn't anything that would drive the Las Vegas casinos on putting up any type of real interest into those fights. As it relates to Abraham, they were more than happy to come to California, other than in Oakland, based upon what they believe is a strong Armenian community that's going to get behind Arthur Abraham. You know, not a problem. You know, you got to remember, Andre has had 4 fights in Oakland throughout his career, not even going to his amateur career. He won the gold medal being on foreign territory, won all of the fights leading into that gold medal on foreign territory. It's not about protection. This is purely financial business decisions that the other promoters and fighters have made to be in California. And the same goes with Arthur Abraham. Okay, so as it relates to a Carl Froch, it's not a matter of going to England to fight. You know, the finals will most likely be in the United States. But I can see the finals in Las Vegas or New York or somewhere that you've got the glitz and glimmer.
Okay, talking about May 14th, have you seen the new and improved Chris Arreola lately?
I got to tell you, I mean, as you probably saw the other day, a picture went out of Chris, and you know, he looks fantastic. I mean, I saw cheekbones for the first time in 6 years being together with Chris. You know, I've always said it's better late than never, and Chris has made the determination. I mean, it's funny. We just finished talking about the Kobe Bryants and the Sugar Ray Leonards and the Andre Wards and the Manny Pacquiaos, and it all boils down to what they do in the gym. And I just, you know, however Chris came to that determination, he did, and thank goodness, because it's always in the athlete's hands, okay? And he's made the determination that he's got to train like an elite athlete, preparing for a fight. And the results are what what we're seeing right now. So, you know, I'm going to kind of take a page out of Chris's book. I haven't done too much talking about it, okay, because I just want to see that bell ring, see what he comes in on weight, and see how it affects him physically inside that ring. Because I'm a big believer that being in tip-top shape, he's going to be able to reclaim that speed and multiple punching prowess that he had for so many years as a young man, that you'd see him throwing off 3, 4, 5 shots at a time that I think he was less capable of doing when he was carrying a heavier load. So it remains to be seen, but that's what I'm hoping to see on May 14th with Chris.
What happened with trainer Ronnie Shields?
You know, I think Ronnie did a great job. I think everyone was happy with it, but you know, it was never really about the trainers, okay? Henry certainly tried to do everything he could to have Chris train like the athlete he's training like now. So I think what happened is that a part of it was Chris's ability to see Ronnie and to know what he's been through with Henry and come to a determination that it wasn't about his trainers, it was about himself. And coming to that conclusion, I think he said, "Okay, Henry, I'm ready now," and that's what we're seeing now.
You've always been really high on Chris. With this new motivation, do you believe he can become a world champion?
Well, I've always said that the best shot you have of giving yourself the chance of overcoming every obstacle out there is being in the best shape that you can possibly be in. Then you take a fighter like Chris, who has that amateur background. We know he's got a great chin. We know he's tough. We know he's a warrior. We know he likes to fight. You know, I don't care who it is out there, 6'7" Klitschko at this point. If he continues on in this vein, then I believe that he's going to be a hard man to beat.
Final question. Are there any news about Paul Williams?
We're working on it. Hope to have something completed in the next few days. We're anxious to get Paul back out there. Taking nothing away from Martinez, it was one of those shots that you don't see too often in boxing. It was one of those 1 in a million shots. I didn't call it lucky, okay, because Martinez is a tough fighter, but I do call it a 1 in a million shot because Paul's been hit with a lot of good shots, not only from Martinez but many other fighters throughout the years. As you know, he's fought a who's who of opposition. And we all know that he's absorbed every shot he's ever taken and given back plenty more in return. So what we're looking to do is get Paul back out there, get him right back where he was, and eventually get that third fight with Martinez. And because no matter how you want to slice it or dice it, it's 1-1. So, but right now the focus is getting Paul back in there, getting him back to the levels that he was at, and I believe that'll be done in 1-2 fights.
Do you think he'll be able to recover from that kind of a knockout?
Look, I mean, you always hope so. I mean, we saw it with Lennox Lewis, who had one of those shots that from Oliver McCall, and as you know, he came back from that. We saw it with Vladimir Klitschko, with Layman Brewster, with Corey Sanders. Some of the elite fighters throughout the years have been knocked out with similar shots or an accumulation of similar shots, and have gone on to be dominating world champions. So, I can't sit here and look you right in the eye and tell you 110%, but the odds are in Paul's favor to be able to return to the status that he was immediately, and that's our belief. Okay, why is it our belief? Because it was one of those shots, 1,000,001 shot, that you don't anticipate him ever having to fend off again. So it'll be business back as usual, and I believe that Paul will demonstrate in July that he is back, and we don't have to ask those questions anymore.
Okay, so here it is from Mr. Dan Goossen's mouth to your ears. Thank you very much.
All right.